I'm here at TPC Kuala Lumpur West Course 18 hole this morning. This is a par 5 over here. Whenever I walk past this tee box, sometimes I see people aiming down the left side of this fairway, or some people even set up with a shut club face. And whenever I ask them why, they always tell me that they're trying to fight this slide shot because they try to keep the ball on the fairway. Hi everyone, it's Michelle here. Welcome back to Golf with Michelle. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about what is a slide shot, why we hit a slide shot, and of course the solution for it. Majority of golfers do struggle with a slide shot once in a while in their golfing lifetime. You're not alone, so let's get started on how to fix this problem. So I'm going to start off with talking what is a slide shot, okay? A slide shot is when we hit the ball with an outside in swing path. An outside in swing path is the club head coming above the ball, okay? And at impact, the club face is way open, which will create a ball flight starting to the left side and then curving to the right. Now I'm going to try my best to demonstrate a slide shot, all right? Oh God. There's a few main reasons why we hit a slide shot. I always like to go back to basics, so I'm going to start off with talking about the grip, okay? People that hit a slide shot generally has a weak grip, okay? So a weak grip is when our thumb is actually pointing straight down the shaft, all right? So if you have a grip like that, it's really hard to rotate the club face or even square the club face at impact, okay? It's really hard to square the club face. It's easier to open, but it's harder to try to shut the club face, okay? Another reason is some people don't really know or understand how the hand works at release, yeah? Some of them think that when they want to swing it left, some of them will bend their left elbow and try to pull the arm back. So that will actually keep the club face even more open. And the other reason is also we have an outside in swing path, as I mentioned earlier, which means these people have quite a steep downswing, okay? Quite steep downswing, which causes the path to go outside in, and our brain is really smart. And we know that when I'm hitting on an outside in swing path, I'm most probably going to hit the ball left, so I keep the club face open to compensate, and that will create a big slide shot. Alright, as I mentioned earlier, we know that hitting a slide shot, we're coming over the top with an open club face. So I would like to start with fixing the club face first, okay? Why? Is because if I'm going to get you swinging from the inside out right away, and if you hit it with an open club face, with inside out with an open club face, the ball is going even more right, okay? So it's really important we get a feel of how we rotate our club face and also trying to get the ball going left first, okay? So as I mentioned earlier, people that hit a slide shot, most of them have a weaker grip, okay? So we need to make sure we strengthen the grip so that you can rotate the club face easier, okay? We want to rotate the club face to the left easier, so we have to make sure we have a stronger grip, all right? So the stronger grip or a good grip, we're going to start off with having the fingers against the grip. I would like for you to wrap your fingers around the grip and then get your palm over it, okay? So it's going to look like that. So I'm going to see at least 2 knuckles from the top, all right? So this will be a good grip, okay? So how are you going to check if it's a good grip? I would like for you to straighten your arm and then you hinge the club and make sure the club face is square, okay? If it's square and you can hinge the club easily, then you're actually holding it correctly, all right? So for the right hand, we have to make sure that the right hand is not on top, okay? This is a very weak right hand. We want the right hand to be under. You can hold it 10 fingers, interlock or overlap, up to you. But we have to make sure the right hand is on the side of the grip, okay? As you can see over here, this V and this V is going to point at my right shoulder, all right? So with a grip like that, it's going to be easier for you to rotate the club face, all right? And it's just going to be able to move the wrist correctly, and we're going to be able to keep the club face square throughout the swing. Bear in mind that we're still talking about the club face, all right? So when I set up nicely with a good grip, I'm going to talk a little bit about the takeaway. I see some people opening their club face, okay? You might be opening your club face too much on the takeaway. which is causing the club face to open. And then when we get to the top, sometimes it gets a little bit too cup over here, we call cup. And then at impact, we're gonna keep the club face open. And this will send the ball to the right side. So the correct takeaway has to look like that, okay? So I'm gonna keep my arms relaxed. And when I start rotating, I need to make sure that the club face is in line with my spine, okay? It's somewhat pointing this way instead of this way. So when we get to this position, okay, I'm just gonna keep turning. See, when I hinge my club correctly, my wrist over here, my left wrist is actually looking more bold, okay? More bold. Then it'll be easier for you to get the club coming down more on the inside out later, okay? Again, we're focusing on club face, all right? When we have a good grip and we set up at the top really well, I'm going to talk a little bit about how to rotate the club face, okay? Some of you might not really understand how the hands really work at impact. So I have a drill for you over here, which is what I call the motorbike drill, all right? The motorbike drill is going to look like that, okay? If I'm riding a motorbike where we're accelerating, we're actually rotating our wrist like that. But I want you to feel like you're doing the opposite with your left hand, okay? Opposite with your left hand. So it's going to look a little bit like that. You can see my logo of my glove is pointing at you right now, okay? We're not doing this, but we are doing this, okay? So I want you to feel when you get to the top of the backswing, it's going to look like this. You're going to do that motorbike drill. That means you're rotating the club face down. As you can see, when it gets to this position, I'm back to the club face in line with my spine, and then I would like for you to keep rotating and just send the ball to the left side, okay? I want you to hit this ball that is curving to the left side. From the front view, like this position, I'm gonna bowl. I'm gonna do that motorbike drill like this, okay? So I can swing, club face will be square at impact, and I'm gonna keep doing that, keep rotating the club face, and finish the swing. We have to make sure that when I do this motorbike drill and it goes down, you see, I'm actually releasing. So remember that the left hand has to hinge like this, right? So it needs to do this to go down. So if I use the motorbike drill, you see my thumb is pointing downwards instead of just this. So I just have to make sure that I grip the club correctly, left hand the fingers, right hand down the side. Just make sure that both V's are pointing out my right shoulder. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to focus on the club face. I want to start the ball left and go left, okay? We're focusing on the club face, all right? So I take my backswing, just make sure the club face is in line with my spine, get to the top, make sure the wrist is at a bowl position. From here, I'm going to do the motorbike drill. I'm going to send the ball to the left side. At this point, I assume that most of us are still hitting from the outside in if we are fighting a slice, okay? So at this position, swing through, okay? Make sure you practice with a half swing or three-quarter swing, even three-quarter swings, okay? Don't just make sure you don't go to the top first, okay? Just get a feel of it. Make sure the wrist is bowled. Rotate with the left wrist, okay? The motorbike drill. Okay, so you can see that the ball is hitting towards the trees on the left. So I'm going to start left and let it curve towards the left side, okay? Alright guys, now we're moving into part 2 of fixing the slide shot, alright? So at this point, I assume that you guys can already curve the ball towards the left side. So we're going to move into working on the swing path. As I mentioned earlier, we're hitting from the outside in with an open club face that causes the ball to slice, alright? So when I can start the ball curving to the left, we're moving the path back on track, okay? So it's really important to work on the club face first. Again, it's because if I work on the path first and I try to get the club coming inside out with open club face, you're going to send the ball even more right. We all know that we're swinging on the path that's rotating around our spine, yeah? So we know that hitting a slide shot, our club is coming on over the top, which is above the golf ball, and exiting left, which is inside over here with an open club face, okay? So we need to try to get the club swinging on plane, which is at this angle. So in order to do that, we need to exaggerate and feel like the club is coming way inside, all right? Way inside, and then we just have to rotate the club face, as I mentioned in part 1, and you're going to send the ball with a slight draw down the middle of the fairway. All right, before we fix the problem, we need to know what is causing the problem. So outside in path, number one, some people stand with the open stance, okay? That means the right foot is in front. We think that we're setting up straight down where we want to aim, but our right foot sometimes is ahead of the left. Another one is we're trying to rush the swing from the top, okay? We're trying to hit hard and rush the swing from the top. That will cause an outside in swing path as well. Or when we cast the club, that means from here we're casting the club, okay? Another reason is our body is rotating with the right shoulder coming on top. It's moving over the top. That means my right shoulder is coming higher than my left shoulder on the downswing. If some of you have seen my body rotation video, you will understand what I'm talking about. That means when we get to the top of the backswing, we're initiating the downswing with the upper body, the right shoulder coming over, and then we're leaning to the left side. If we're leaning towards the left side, it's going to be really hard for us to rotate the club, and then we're going to bend our left arm, okay? So that's a few reasons of an outside in swing path. And now we're going to move on to how we fix it. Okay, to fix that outside in swing path, the first thing is again the basic, which is our setup, okay? As I mentioned earlier, what causes an outside in swing path could be because your right foot is ahead of the left foot, which means it's going to look something like that. Okay, the right foot is ahead of the left foot. Okay, it could be just a little bit, it could be just like 2-3 inches. That will already cause an outside in swing path, okay? So I would like for you to set up, okay, and just pull your right foot back. If this is square, okay, I want you to pull the right foot back about 1 inch or 2 to actually help you to get the club a little bit more inside out, okay? After we sort out the stance, I'm going to talk about the setup position, all right? So once again, nice stance, all right? A good grip. The ball is going to be somewhat inside the left heel, okay? So this position, right foot about 2 inches back, okay? I would like for you to flare the toes out so you could have a better posture and also balance and more stability as well. I would like for you to make sure that your left shoulder is higher than your right shoulder. That means I'm actually tilting my body a little bit. So it's going to look something like that. So this will be a good setup to try to hit an inside out swing. Okay, now when we have a good setup already, I'm going to talk a little bit about the back swing. I need to make sure that the club face is set up at the takeaway in line with my spine, okay? And then from here, we're just going to turn and make sure the club, the wrist, the left wrist is both at the top, all right? Now I'm going to talk about the body rotation. So with the outside in swing path, there's a few reasons why we swing it outside in, right? And it has to do with our body rotation. So when I set up, if I don't turn or rotate around my spine, if I don't move my hips, okay? If I do this and just go with my arms, I might start swaying to the right side a little bit, okay? So if I just move my arms and not my hips or my chest, just up like that, you can see that I'm actually moving to the right side, which we call swaying to the right a little bit, and I don't have any space on this side. I don't have any space over here to get the club coming from the inside out. I will just swing fast and come over the top, okay? So it's really important that we rotate our body to the right side correctly to create all this space over here so that I can move the club coming from the inside out and make a solid contact at the ball, all right? I'm gonna make sure when I take away, I'm gonna turn my chest, I'm gonna rotate my body. That means my right leg is gonna be extended a little bit. My hip is not over rotated, but it's somewhat pointing there, okay? So the hip is turning, but the chest keeps going until it's pointing fully on the right side, or is even slightly more than 90 degrees turn, okay? This is the top of our backswing. Okay, when we set up the club nicely at the top of the backswing, now we're going to talk about the downswing. We all know that we're going to feel like it's coming more from the inside out. So I have this drill for you. I think this drill is going to help you visualize, and it's going to give you an idea where you want to hit the ball, like where the club face should make contact with the ball, okay? I want you to imagine that the ball facing you, this is 12 o'clock, like you're looking at a clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. And I would like for you to imagine that you're hitting the ball from 4 to 10 o'clock, okay? So the club face have to come in from 4 and swing it towards 10 with a good rotation, okay? All right, at this point of the backswing, my shoulder, my chest is somewhat turned past 90 degree. My hip is about 45 degree turn. Okay, right leg is slightly extended. My chest is nicely pointing the right side. I have all this space over here to bring the club down on the inside out path, okay? We just have to make sure that when we bring our club down, we're initiating with the lower body, okay? We're turning with our lower body, yeah? I don't want you to come over the top, because if you start with the upper body, again, we're gonna swing the club outside in. So we have to make sure that we're initiating the downswing with the lower body, and make sure our right elbow is bent and also in front of our body. Some people tend to bring their right elbow down to the side of the body and they get stuck, okay? So it's really important that you keep rotating, clearing your hips, and the right elbow stays in front of the body. And then again, from the top, we want to do this motorbike drill. Swing the club from 4 to 10 o'clock, and then we're going to release nicely, and then finish the golf swing. Wow. Make sure you guys practice on the driving range, not on the course, okay? Just start off with working on the club face and then work on the swing path. I hope this video will help you guys save some shots on the golf course, hit it longer, hit more fairways, and of course stop hitting that unintentional slide shot that we have been hitting. If you guys do like this video, please give me a like, leave me a note if you have any questions, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you.